What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. I am also the Director of Research at LeDuc Trading. It is December 21st, 2020. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. And I'm going to continue to make it better for you as well. So if you like, please subscribe, like the video, and share the channel. I would really appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking about the price action, the indices, volatility. We're going to go under the hood and check out the sectors and style factors, the trades I took today, and then we'll wrap up some options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please do all your own research, your own due diligence, follow your own trading plan with your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. All right, so with that being said, let's jump right in. And let's take a look at what happened today in the markets. Funny story, I'm actually getting copyright infringement for using music in my video. I had no idea that if I had that other YouTube channel's music in the background, I would get a copyright infringement. I love doing these videos with music though, so I'm gonna have to figure out some way of getting music in the video. I just love music and it sounds way better to have it in the video, so I got to figure that out. But let's just jump right into it anyway. So ES, for our ES futures, today looked like it was going to be a super scary day. So I woke up this morning at around like 5 o'clock in the morning, and for better or worse, it's probably for worse, the first thing I do every morning is check the futures. And I was expecting like, oh, maybe it's a little green in the morning, maybe we got a little 0.5% up, the huge. And I saw we were down like 1.5%, and the VIX was like completely blown out. So that was a shock in my eyes. But one thing that I noticed specifically, which kept me from, getting too bearish on the market, was if you take a look, let's go to the hourly chart. And you can see that, we had this massive spill in the overnight, but the spill came pretty much on no volume. And even before the market opened for business in the morning, there were already dip buyers coming in to just gobble up that dip. So even when we opened for business today, I believe we opened above the value area high right here. So yeah, to me, I was just seeing those indications very early on of appetite from buyers. So I didn't get too bearish here. But yeah, we did end up closing below the 5-day exponential moving average, but we closed above the 20-day simple moving average. So yeah, a bit of a shakeout today. I'm not really putting, all that much stock into what happened today, but it's definitely something where, that's the reason why we were being prudent last week. And, we were pulling winners off the table, we were managing our risk, and we weren't pigging out at the highs. Because then when you get a shakeout like this, you just feel so calm and relaxed, and you feel like you're ready to operate. You're not scared or like panic selling or anything like that. You just feel very even. And that's how I was today. So yeah, we'll have to see what the river brings. But yeah, this one, pretty interesting action today. Let's see. So we ended up the day with the S&P 500 down 0.36%. We had the Qs down 0.37%. We had the small caps down 0.05%, and we had the Dow Jones plus 0.08%. So for once, the Dow is the outperformer on the day. So I'm going to give the Dow Jones a nice little round of applause here. The Dow Jones did it for once. So good for the Dow Jones. So let's see. We have our Qs. Let's take a look at this one. It's going to be a pretty similar story here. Yeah, and you can see the Qs had a nice green candle, closed above the EMA. So the Qs are showing some relative strength. And one thing, I actually watched a pretty cool interview with Kathy Wood. I believe she's either the CIO or the CEO, but basically she runs the show at ARK Investments. And, she was saying that she uses the FANG stocks as pretty much like cash proxies. So it's kind of interesting that we're seeing a bid in some of these FANG names into year end, because that might actually be what's happening, where fund managers are going, okay, let me move out of some of my speculative stocks and I'll throw the money into these FANG stocks, which are essentially like cash equivalents. So pretty interesting there. That's just me like pontificating though. So let's see IWM. IWM, I actually had a hedge on an IWM. I had the 190 strike puts for January, and I closed those out today, on this, like bearish price action in the beginning of the day. I closed them, I believe, either flat or for maybe like a 3% loss, something like that. But what I saw was just like, okay, we had a big gap down, but pretty much in the first like 30 minutes to an hour, we were just recovering, all those losses pretty quickly. So I figured, hey, while we have this vol spike, I'm going to close out my hedge. And, the hedge did its job, I guess, where if we had just continued to fall into the abyss, it would have been helpful. But yeah, I like having that on there for peace of mind. But since this price action turned more benign, I took it off. It was essentially like a scratch or even like a small loss. Yeah, it definitely did its job for me. And then we have the Dow Jones. Dow Jones, oh my gosh, look at it go. Yeah, so still moving sideways on the Dow. And there's not really much to say there. The story on the Dow has been the same, every single day for people that watch these videos regularly. So let's see. We have, oh yeah, and shout out to everyone. I posted, like my Digital Turbine research this weekend. And Digital Turbine was a company I did a deep dive on. I posted the analysis on Twitter. Posted it when the stock was around like either $38 or $40 a share. And my intermediate term price target was, like I believe it was like $50 to $60 a share. And we hit that price target. So I just retweeted it. And I said, hey guys, like my goal is to hit 10,000 followers by 2022. So if you like my work and if you want to see more of it, like please, support me by sharing, this tweet. And we had a couple people share it. So like, I just want to let everyone know, like, I really appreciate that. Like my goal is I want to be helpful for people that are, trying to learn more about trading and investing. And I want to grow my audience really just by providing value. So I just really appreciate, everybody that supports the channel. Like shout out to Trev. Trev is like one of my first followers ever. And he is just like a super cool guy, super supportive. And he's really been with me since day one. So, I just really appreciate all those people supporting the channel. But anyway, so we had, in terms of our sectors, we had the solar stocks up 3.83%. We had the ARC Genomics Fund up 6.06%. This fund has really caught fire. And our ARC Innovation Fund up 3.17%. So you can see everything innovative, technologies focused around, the future of the world are really catching fire and doing very well right now. And then for the laggards, we had energy down 1.93%. We had XLP, the consumer staples, down 1.08%. And we had the utilities down 1.21%. So yeah, you can see like energy, for instance, was a sector that was doing really well, in hopes of the stimulus bill. So I'm really curious, like now that the stimulus bill, like, the cat's out of the bag, I'm curious if you'll start to see like small caps, energy, things like that start to underperform. Like it's been a while since energy's been at the bottom of this list. So I'm curious if energy just sort of rolls over now. But again, that's just my pontification. But you can see energy is at the bottom of our list once again. So pretty interesting, what's going on here. And then we have for our style factors, wow, every style factor finished red. Yeah, the relative winners in terms of our momentum rankings are the momentum style factor down 0.06%, growth down 0.07%, and then our laggards in terms of momentum are the high div low vol down 1.21%, and our international value, which is down 1.84%. So let's take a look at some trades I put on, some things on my watch list. A couple of these are trades like INAC and IPOF, I put on maybe like 2 weeks ago. And these are all recorded, my daily recaps, all these entries. Because in terms of like, me bragging about a winner or something like that, like my philosophy is like, I'm only going to like brag to you guys about a winner if I gave you guys a chance to get in on the winner with me. And, I don't do any of that vague stuff that a lot of people on Twitter do where it's like, I just post something like, oh yeah, IPOF looks bullish. And then, later on, if IPOF does well, then I'm just like, congrats to everyone who got in with me. But then if it doesn't do well, then you just like leave it there. I try not to do that. I try to be very direct and just say like, hey, I bought some of this today, or like I sold some of it today. So yeah, that's sort of like my philosophy on that. But let's take a look at these. Been doing a lot of pontificating today, but I know you guys just want the good stuff. Oh my gosh, INAC. And this is one that I have been pounding the table on. Just talking about it. It's a super simple concept with this. Like I've been finding like, I used to try to be like Mr. like intellectual with investing, where it's like I had to know everything about everything and like, cutting edge, contrarian, like, all that stuff. And what I have honestly found in my trading practice and investing is the dumber I become, the better I perform. It's so weird. Where like I still do a ton of homework and put a lot of effort in, but I try not to look at things from like the intellectual side too much, as counterintuitive as that sounds. So like INAC was one where I bought this one on this red candle right here. And so I knew like, okay, this is a SPAC and it's backed by Chamath and Mark Cuban. And the company they're acquiring is Metro Mile. And what they are doing is they're an insurance company. They do auto insurance, but they do their charge, by the amount of miles someone is driving, not on a fixed rate per month. And when I heard that idea, it was so simple. And I was like, that is something that I would probably buy. So really just for those reasons, okay, Mark Cuban is in it. Chamath is in it. I like them both. I'm bullish on them as people. And that simple, like one sentence idea of what this company does, I'm bullish on that too. So I pretty much loaded the boat on this, at around like $12 and I believe 12 cents on this candle right here. And now it's, taking off, which is awesome. And this is one where I'm just holding on for dear life. I have no intention of selling these shares anytime soon. And I just want to see how they do. So INAC is looking pretty good. Then we have IPOF, which is another one. I'm pretty sure I bought IPOF like one day after I bought INAC, or maybe even on the same day. But this is one of Chamath's SPACs. I bought it on this candle right here. And I remember, posting this one on my video too on Twitter. And yeah, IPOF, I'm super bullish on Chamath. And I pretty much sprinkled a bunch of money into a bunch of his different SPACs. And I just want to see, like, maybe one of them will do well. So IPOF, he hasn't even announced the acquisition target for this one yet. But I do think there's lots of other Chamath bulls out there that are just pre-positioning in it. Pretty much waiting for what he's going to announce. So this one, hasn't really taken off yet. But it's looking, people are starting to participate in it. So I'm watching this one. I own that one. Unity is one that I put on Friday. And Unity, or I forget if I put it on this candle. Yeah, I think I did put it on Friday. Yeah, I did. And Unity, had a nice follow through day today. So, nice little candle here. Pushed up 4.82%. You can see we're getting towards the upper Bollinger Band. So this one, looking really good. My problem child right now is Sama. And that is one where I have the 10 strike calls in Sama. I might have to bring it up in TradingView. Let me see. Let me pull up TradingView. The thing about FinViz is sometimes they don't have like brand new IPOs in here. So I actually have to bring up TradingView. But Sama I might actually have to cut. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm giving this one some leash though, because I do have a lot of cushion in my position here. So let's see, I'm going to go to the chart. This was one of my last like live entries on Twitter where I bought the 10 strike calls in here for about like $1.15. And at one point my calls were worth like $4 and change. They like quadrupled on me. Now they're only like a double. So, still an awesome return, but just well off the highs for me. And you can see, Sama ended up merging with Clever Leaves. And you can see this is one of those examples with the SPAC where everyone took this as an opportunity to just unload the stock pretty much. So this one sort of got decimated. It's only trading at $11.70 right now. So my calls that I bought for like $1.15, now they're worth probably like $2.20, $2.30. So still a 100% return in those. But we'll have to see if I decide, I just want to cut this. If I want to let it ride and just take delivery of the shares, we'll have to see. And then let's take a look. One stock that I'm watching, for tomorrow, we have this company, Desktop Metal. This is another SPAC, success story. And Desktop Metal, take a look, manufactures and sells additive manufacturing solutions for engineers, designers, and manufacturers in the Americas, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and the Asia Pacific. They offer a production system, an industrial manufacturing solution, shop system, a metal additive manufacturing solution for machine and job shops. And one of my buddies is actually a machinist, so maybe I'll ask him about this company. But yeah, this one technically, just looks very bullish. So this is one I have on my watch list tomorrow. Another one that looks really similar, probably trading in the same like factor basket, is this company Laser. So I'm going to be watching these tomorrow. But let's take a quick look. I've held you guys for a while for this video, and I'm going to be putting this one out super late. So I'm just going to take a quick look at some of the stuff for the options activity, but I'm not going to hold you guys too long here. So let's see. I'm going to filter for my $1 million and up. And so we got some Facebook activity, IWM puts. That's interesting. We have Baidu calls. Baidu is one that, I've played. That one was a big winner for me last month. CRM, which is one I continue to like fantasize about. I just have this vision for a CRM trade. It's probably going to be an epic fail if I put it on. But let's see how CRM closed. So you can see CRM, like it just doesn't look very sexy. But, oh my gosh, this chart is terrible. FinViz, they throw like these auto lines on and they throw like random indicators. You can't just set it for like your own favorites. So FinViz, they've got some good features, but they need to get their act together on some others. Let's see, CRM. So you can see CRM, there's this volume shelf right here where a lot of players, are participating at this level. And you can see there's a gap to fill here. And I'm seeing players loading up on calls. Salesforce is a really good company and they're growing pretty quickly. And they're acquiring Slack. So I just see like some good things in that business. And I would love to play this one, for a gap fill. I just think that would be super interesting. And then, set my stop like below these levels right here. Let's see what else real quick. We got our Tesla bulls, Airbnb bull down here, very short term for December 24th. We have a semis bull down here. Let's see what the semis did today, SMH. Okay, so that looks pretty interesting. A bit of a shakeout in the semi space. Let's see AMD if there's a shakeout there. I like these shakeouts sometimes because you can get a lot of weak hands out of the stock. Let's see. Let's see like Qualcomm or Nvidia. Okay, yeah, Qualcomm, I see you with the little green candle there. Yeah, so I'm going to be watching semis as well. But that about does it for the options order flow. I don't want to keep you guys too long. But there is some bullish activity in some of our usuals on here. I see an Amazon play. That about does it for this recap video. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow.